it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island. Hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
But let's bring Mike in. Mike,
hey guys,
Mike, we missed you.
Hey, Arthur.
Hello, sir. How
Mike,
are you?
we're talking about what to say and what not to say as a
listening to you.
broadcaster.
And I'm with Arthur. I mean, you're like family. See, you're different than me, and you're different than a lot of the. Let's just put it out there. You're not a jerk like the rest of us are.
No.
And you, but normally, you know, like a more of a in-your-face host would say, "What are you talking about, Kevin?" But that's just not your style. I mean, you're inviting people into your home, into their home. You're inviting people into your home, into your environment, and you let him speak his mind and let the listeners decide. I don't blame you one bit. I mean,
well, and then Mike, you are the expert broadcaster and a great broadcaster. I always say this, and it's so true. And you're compassionate, but I also, this is like Rush says. He goes. All I wanted was listeners. That's all I want. I don't care about my political affiliation. You got to be an entertainer. So I'm thinking, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike. You can help me out here, and I'm looking for advice. When someone says something, if you revisit and you go back and you deny it and you clarify and you build on it, it makes it worse. Then people go, oh, what? Sometimes you just let it go. But I'm thinking maybe I should have addressed it. Well, no. Those are my friends. And maybe not mention the names again. That what bothered me about that interview.
It's like you and Jeffrey Lyons. I mean, that guy says that basically we're all a bunch of communists, and this country.
No, we should be communists. Not that we are communists. We should be.
No, that's what he likes. I mean,
right,
but again, you're like the dad at the Thanksgiving table, and everybody sits around and says crazy things, and you're not the guy to knock over the water and knock the table over because people are saying crazy things. You keep the peace. You have a, you do. You've got like a welcoming, inviting sort of tone to your show, and that's what makes it so wonderful. It's why I listen to it every morning. It's why I learned so much from you. You know,
please,
I mean, a little bit of that can go along because a guy like me, I'm red meat, and I'm like, I'm knocking Jeffrey Lyons' head off if he starts talking about, ripping into Mike Pence or President Trump. I'm ripping into Kevin Jackson. I mean, but that's just a different style.
And then I get tweeted. Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt. I tweeted yesterday. It goes, oh well, I've listened to you for 2 years. You're too soft on the left. They tell me I'm too soft on the left. You can't win. You can't win.
Get that. Yeah, try to be Donald Trump. That's how he is. You know, I mean, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. That's, you can't do this to try to please everybody, but you got to be true to yourself. And you have just turned into this welcoming presence on the airwaves. And it's a morning show. It's a little bit different than like mine, 10 to 1. Midday or afternoons or nights. People don't want to wake up to hear you taking Kevin Jackson's head off. It's just not your thing.
Also, I like free speech. If you say something wrong, even if Jeffrey says something, he takes a shot at like Mike Pence. That whole gay conversion thing. Frank and I, we investigated it. We looked into it. It's not what Mike Pence is about.
It's not true. I've talked to Mike Pence about that.
Exactly.
There was something posted on a website years ago during one of his congressional races. That's the extent of it.
And then I was at a play, and it was a gay performance, and they say we have an administration that believes in gay conversion, and I wanted to stand up and go, no, that's not true.
No,
and on the radio, when Jeffrey mentions it, I'm going to go, no, that's not true. But why? Sometimes why bother?
Frank, hold on, Mike. If I get a little disclosure here, the host of this program, Mr. Piscopo, has a special place in his heart for the Secretary of State, because when we were down in Washington, it wasn't Joe Piscopo asking the Secretary of State to have a photo with him. It was the Secretary of State saying, "Can I have a picture with Joe Piscopo?"
Arthur took the shot.
There were a lot of fans here, a lot of fans.
And the good thing that Arthur, Mike, go ahead.
Try to go to dinner with him. I mean, let me tell you something. You want to have an inferior. You want to think you're like a big shot, national talk show host, millions of listeners. Go to dinner with Joe in New York City. I mean, it's like, I'll hold the camera for you.
But it was so funny. But Arthur took a shot of me and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. We were down in we weren't quite in the White House, but right next door in the executive office building there. And Arthur took a shot. Everybody, Mike, that everybody takes a shot. If you're with somebody like Mike Pompeo that everybody just adores, you go, oh, can I have a shot? That's the next thing you say. Can I have a shot? Arthur let it go. He just took the shot, and then the Secretary of State points to Arthur and goes, I want that picture.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
All I'm saying, Mr. Gallagher, I know your level of integrity. I need to let you know that Mr. Piscopo has a fond place in his heart for this administration, because when we went down there, it was Joe Piscopo was the celebrity, and Kellyanne Conway and the Secretary of State, they were the sideshow, and it was Joe in the middle of the executive office building singing New York, New York, with Rudy Giuliani in a kick line, with Kellyanne Conway in a kick line. It was absolutely classic and something I'll never, ever forget.
So next time...
I'll never forget the story sitting in Philadelphia. All the Salem hosts, the whole Salem family, Phil Boyce, our boss, a young waiter, he must have been in his 30s. He goes up to Joe, freaks out, can't believe it's Joe Piscopo. And Joe didn't even know that I was listening because we were all talking and everybody was kind of engaged. He was at the end of the table. He was so kind to that waiter, and he took time with that kid and was telling him stories about Saturday Night Live, and the kid wanted... And this guy knew every routine of everything Joe had ever done. And it was...
Did he know the names of all his ex-wives?
Yeah, he did.
I will tell you what. I sat on the airplane with a famous sports broadcaster. I'm not the other night coming down here to Florida because we got an event coming up in Tampa. Let's put it this way: he was not so nice to people.
Really?
Very famous face. You know him, but I always think that's fascinating because I always I find it interesting when somebody as big as Joe or some of these folks who've been on television for years and movies and stage, and when you see how kind they are to people who are excited about seeing them, you know what kind of character they have. I mean, when you see a guy, I got to say it, when you see a big network.
So, Mike, you saying Howard Cosell wasn't that nice on the plane the other day?
I don't think he's any longer with us any longer.
Mike, great that Mike. Mike, I love you and I appreciate you.
Love you too. And by the way, I've got to correct my buddy Arthur Idala, if you don't mind. I've got a beef with him. Now I got beef with Arthur.
Go ahead, lay it out.
What was your bumper sticker again?
I vote the person, not the party.
Common sense.
No, here's the bumper sticker. Vote Republican. Common sense. There ain't a Democrat on the ticket that's common sense, my friend. So we got to vote Republican because we need it. November 6th, we got a big night. I'll be anchoring our election coverage, on the midterm election night on here at AM 970. The Answer. We're going to have all the bases
Mike, you're
covered.
the best. Mike,
it's going to be a big night, guys.
Thanks for your leadership. And now Arthur is here. And now the boss has come in. See, you guys.
We're in trouble.
The boss stepped in. You got Mike Gallagher, you got Arthur Idala, and Jerry Crowley. Our boss comes in. We're honored that you're
called
here.
to the carpet.
I want you to hear this, Gallagher, because you can take a lesson from what I'm going to say, okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, Joe, don't give me away here, all right?
Yes, sir.
Give me time. Give me time.
Okay.
And we love Mike Gallagher, by the way.
We love you
guys.
So,
I've been doing this for a long time, and I rarely come in. Unannounced. But I had an event last night that was amazing, and I want to describe what happened. And I may do this frequently now. We'll call it Crowley's Window. Crowley's Window.
You're the boss. You can do what you want. Yeah, man.
The windows are being replaced.
Yeah, I know. Me too. So last night.
Me too, by the way.
Last night I'm staying at a local inn. So we had a late night, early morning. I've got to get sleep. I take a little nap in the afternoon. At 7:30, I say, well, I'm fat enough. I got to go to the gym and work out a little bit, right? So I go to the gym in this inn. There's 2 doors in. My card key opens the first door. The second one doesn't open. I don't know what's wrong, but I peer in through the glass window. And there's a stunad inside in a suit, and tie, lifting weights. Lifting weights. I said, who could that possibly be at 7:30 at night in a suit and tie lifting weights in a gym? He turns
Hey,
around.
I'm here, Dallas. You got me?
Person turns around. It's Piscopo.
You got to be kidding me. Really? That's what he does every day
100% true story.
I just
But
got
the
in.
suit, and I said to him, why are you in a suit? He said, I don't have to pack a change of clothes.
I go in. I came in from dinner with Allie. I hear a bang on the door like this. No one goes in this gym at this beautiful little inn that we go to where we stay at the station. It's Jerry in gym clothes. I've never seen Jerry is ready to work out. And I forgot, but I grabbed a workout. I do a 12-minute workout, which I have to tell you if you're listening what this workout is. In and out. It's aerobic. It's muscle building.
In a suit.
In his custom suit.
With those shoes that I got you, boss.
Italian
With the shoes that I got you.
You could actually injure yourself with the shoes.
It was great.
They're so pointed.
And
I'm stunned. I was just, Been in gyms my whole life. I've never seen a guy work out.
And was there any perspiration going on?
I don't think there was any perspiration.
No, not a big sweat. Not a big sweat, but I got a great workout last night. Come on.
How does that affect the suit and like the?
You don't wear the suit the next day. It's a great point. You don't wear the suit.
Arthur, with the tie. The tie was.
Oh yeah,
the tie was fully buttoned.
Yeah, that's a little odd.
Tie. A little odd.
It's the Wall Street workout.
Did you ask him to take a selfie with him?
Yeah, I should do it.
I didn't know what to do.
Boss, we love you. Arthur, we love you.
Wait,
Thank
are you cutting the boss
Mike
off? I just want to get this. Gattuso's cutting him off.
I got to pay the bills, otherwise he's not going to be able to keep us going here. Thank you, Jerry Crowley. Thank you, Arthur Aidala.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.